So I recently picked up something I never thought I would actually pick up. Now when you're scrolling through Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, productivity, content creation, how to build a business or a brand, these are always the topics I always see popping up on my social media. So I went out, I thought, you know what, I'm gonna go get myself a little notebook. I'm gonna start journaling. But am I actually going to do that? I don't know if I am. I did it because I looked at social media. I saw these videos pop up and I thought, I need to be that person. I need to be that person that journals. But one thing that I want to tell you guys is that you don't have to be a particular person just because you see that content or you see that certain person you might look up to doing it on social media. I take inspiration from it, but that doesn't mean I have to go do it step by step. The few things that I know that have worked for myself, and I hope they work for you, are so simple. I'm not here to sit down and make things unrealistic or talk about downloading a million different apps or buying a dozen books. Like, if you do that and it works, absolutely perfect. I'd love for you guys to share that with me. But I want to talk about the few things that have helped. And these are the things that they're just simple things to do. Number one, getting enough sleep. The one thing that I neglected was my sleep. Now again, it's something so straightforward. When I look through social media, when I look through these motivational videos, they always talked about waking up early. So I used to get myself up early, but randomly during the day, I would get very, very tired. Now I'd get tired because I slept late, I woke up early, meaning that the hours that I'm actually sleeping is quite minimum. I'm not the guy that can wake up and go to the gym before work. It's just too difficult for me because naturally I do sleep a bit late. So what about if I sleep just a little bit earlier? Okay, I'm not talking about 10, 11 a.m. because that for me is a bit unrealistic. But what if I just slept an extra hour earlier and then I didn't wake up for gym, but I went to gym after work? Yeah, it might be a little bit more of a chore and it might be a bit more difficult because you're tired and you're hungry, but I'm trying to make my day as easy for me as possible, less mentally and physically draining. So that's what I did. I made sure that I improved my sleep. Number two, diet. The one thing that I'm trying to improve on is my diet. Again, I'm not trying to make it unrealistic. I'm trying to make it as realistic as possible. So in the morning, the first thing I'll have is a big glass of cold water. Feels so good to have that. I'll have oats with some fruit, bit of dark chocolate as well, just kind of spice things up a little bit. After that, when I go to work, I'll have loads of fruit, I'll have a yogurt, and then on top of that, if I'm going to take some chicken with me, I'll make sure that chicken that I take has no potatoes, no chips, nothing next to it, just grilled pure chicken. At least that way when I'm at work, I don't feel bloated, I don't feel tired, I don't have that crash, I feel good. Improving my diet has honestly helped me mentally and physically. Number three, I don't journal, but I'll write down just a couple of tasks throughout the day. That is literally it. I won't sit there for 2-3 hours. Again, for me, it is a little bit unrealistic, but that doesn't mean that I don't want to do it. It means that I want to do it, but I want to slowly get into the routine of doing it rather than sitting there writing down a dozen tasks for 2-3 days, but I don't do it because I'm too busy with work, I'm too busy with other commitments. So I'm trying to spread things out around my structure and what's mentally and physically good for me. Number four, exercise. I make sure I try to get as much exercise as possible. I don't overwhelm myself mentally and physically again, but I walk during lunchtime with a good friend of mine, making sure I go to the gym, doing a little bit of boxing. Any sport, any exercise that you can get in, even if it's a few times a week, it helps. Helps with your cardiovascular, helps with your mental health. It just helps with everything, honestly. It just helps with your anxiety or low mood or whatever it is. Getting fresh air and getting that natural source of light outside in that environment honestly can help massively. And then the last one, which is my favorite, is spending time with your family and your friends. Because one thing that I'll tell you, if you keep yourself locked up in your room all day, which is great, when you just want to have a little bit of a moment to unwind or relax from the day, the one thing that I will tell you guys is that when you're able to just share things with family and friends, maybe you've had a tough day, or maybe it's future plans, or whatever it may be, I promise you guys, it will make a huge difference. At the start, it might be difficult if you're not already doing that, but even if you just share 1% of something in your life, it's going to make a big difference. At least that way, when it comes to being productive, you might have just had a rubbish day at work and you've got a family member that just turns around and says to you, you know what, don't worry, you know, these things happen, the same thing happened to me. And you can sit back and be like, you know what, it's not just me going through it. You could talk about a future plan and someone says, actually, instead of doing that, have you thought about this? And you're like, okay, I didn't think about that. Most important thing are those simple elements that we have right in front of our face. Don't overwhelm yourself, don't overcomplicate things, keep it simple. And I promise you, life will be made a lot easier for you guys, mentally, physically, and hopefully you'll achieve your goals and you'll become that famous influencer, celebrity, business person, content creator, whatever it is you aspire to be. Just base it around your schedule, but take your time. There's no rush. You've got a lot of time in the world to get things done. Do not worry about that.